That's the great disconnect. We have to understand that nobody came here to hear our sales pitch. Now, they may be intrigued by it when you do your 1 minute, but that's not why they came. And unless there's a real need for it, you still have to overcome I have no idea who you are. I'm the administrator at our church, and we were taking on a new merchant services company, and I called somebody that I've known through networking for 10 years. And I said, Jennifer, I need you to help set this up. And she goes, I retired, but let me pass you over to so-and-so. Well, I didn't know so-and-so, and I struggled with that for a week because I wanted somebody I knew and had a relationship with, because with Jennifer, if something went wrong, I pick up the phone or send her a text, or I know where she lives, kind of thing. It's just not getting the answering machine of the business. Networking is based on relationships, and that's the great disconnect. We have to spend time to get to know each other and to get to trust each other. So here's what typically happens. We come to a meeting like this. I'm meeting all you fine people. I'm going to collect all your cards, and inevitably, one of you might call me up, or I might call one of you, so let's go grab a cup of coffee. Isn't that what we're supposed to do? We do one-on-one type of meetings here. I hate using those terms because it's B&I, right? But it's the same concept. We get to know each other. So when I first started networking, I have a lady that calls me up and says, I enjoyed meeting you yesterday. Can we go grab a cup of coffee? And we end up over Panera Bread. Turns out she represents Melaleuca. She's like, Paul, this is the greatest thing. I can get you in for free. And it's just stuff you buy every day. You have some neat laundry detergent and all this other stuff. So she spends 45 minutes pitching me on Melaleuca. I wasn't interested in joining Melaleuca. I wanted to get to know this person. You see that, and I barely got to say anything about who I was. I mean, she just dominated the whole thing. So let me tell you how I'd handle that today. I would stop her and say, Karen, and you don't know her last name, so it doesn't matter. Say, Karen, I appreciate what it is, but I came here today because I want to get to know you a little bit. Tell me something about yourself, about your family. Then go into the business. What are your greatest challenges in your business? Okay, so you sell these products. So, what do you love about what you do? I met with a gentleman through the chamber I belong to, and he's a book editor. But when we had coffee and I really listened, I found out that he does much more. He has contacts with publishers and literary agents that are just incredible. And in just spending the time really listening and asking targeted questions, my thinking was, how can I help this gentleman? And I thought of two people right away that I was able to refer to him based on the extra stuff I learned. Now here's what I didn't do. I didn't pitch him at all on myself and what I do. I thought, okay, we'll have coffee again later. That'll come in time. But do you know the next day when he had two people call him up interested in his business, how excited he was? I mean, I've got a friend for life here, I think. If he needs my services or anything I do, he's going to be Johnny on the spot. And I've got years, too many years I want to count, of those kinds of relationships built up. And sometimes it takes time. I told this gentleman I sold my house 4 months ago. Well, when I needed a realtor to sell my house, I already know who that realtor was going to be because it's somebody I've been networking with for years. And he took extra special care of me. And my house sold in 2 days, and all was great. $30,000 more than I thought I was going to get when I called him.
Yay!
It's all about relationships, though. So I urge you to slow down and take the time. And people are great if you take the time to get to know them. But let it be about the other person and not about you. Now, I will tell you, I am a preacher. I didn't bring my Bible. I have it on my phone. But there is a principle here of sowing and reaping. And if we'll spend our time sowing, not with the intention of reaping afterwards, because our heart motives are important, but if we just spend our time sowing, it's bound to come back to us. So I encourage everyone to sow into each other and to the other people around you, and not be, if you're focused on being a servant to other people, it just all will come pouring back. Is my 10 minutes up? I didn't write any notes or prepare anything.
You have 5 more minutes.
5 more minutes. All right. Wow. Well, where do I go with 5 more minutes? That's really what was on my heart. Anybody have any questions?
So what do you do?
What do I can't talk about that now. I'll share my 60 seconds. And that's not what this moment's about.
Paul,
Yes.
I'm Vivian, and you'll find out later I'm from Indiana, but I'd like to give testimony to what you're saying.
Sure.
I started networking in 2007 in Indiana, going consistently, and did not read business at first very much at all, but we just developed those relationships. And you're exactly right, when we went to coffee, never said a word about what I did. Just get to know each other and what their interests are. All of the business will come later after we get to know each other. So probably in this situation today, since I'm from Indiana, if you have a business that you do out of Clarksville, then I need to get to know you. If I can refer, if we establish a relationship, and now with online and Zoom and all those things, we can do it distance. And so if I can help you that way, and that has to be, and people can read it in your eyes.
Right.
If your primary intent is that you want to help them, so just give testimony.
I think these cards that you're talking about is all about relationship, isn't it? There's something about a personal touch. It's just usually important. Now,
I'll give you a testimony too.
Okay.
From I was actually yesterday. I worked an event, and last Friday night, and I met this woman who had this place called the Wholesome Health Lounge, and she told me they do lunch and learns and they do open houses, and she's interested in talking about catering. And so I reached out to her and I said, well, I'm interested in learning about what you do because I have no idea what a Wholesome Health Lounge is. To make a long story short, I went there yesterday and met with them, and I did what you said. I didn't bring anything with me. I didn't hand them a business card. I walked in, I took a tour of their place. They explained to me what they were doing, and I really don't understand it well enough to actually explain what they do, but they're really trying to help veterans, and I felt so intrigued by everything they were doing that I immediately wanted to help them.
Right.
And then it got to a personal level, and they wanted to help me on a personal level, and I got to know them so well that I got an email this morning saying, well, when I talk to somebody about your daughter, is it okay if I say she's an old family friend? And I met them yesterday. Okay, so what you're saying is very, very valid.
It's a change of mindset, because we tend to enter groups like this with a transactional mindset. People believe, if you ever join the BNI, you pay all this money, you're in for a year, 12 months come up, and most people don't renew. And this is the reason why. I didn't get anything out of it. I didn't get any business. That's what you hear, because they went in with a transactional mindset. That's not what networking's about. Networking's about having a relational mindset and just sowing in the time, and then it comes. I didn't need merchant services at my church until a couple months ago. So that friend of mine sat tucked away in a corner. Now, she beat me up if she heard me say that, but you know what I'm saying. Business-wise, I didn't need her at that time. I've used her before, but when the time came I needed her, I knew exactly who I was going to call. It's all about, and I bet you all of you have done the same thing. Wouldn't you much rather give referrals or deal with people that you already know? And the reason people give referrals, anybody know the real reason why that happens? It's a very simple thing.
I trust you.
Yeah.
But this is human nature. I get what you're saying, because I like helping people too. But the
It's
truth
comfort.
is,
You're comfortable.
People give referrals.
people give referrals because it makes them look good. That's the human nature part. I don't like that. As a Christian person, I don't like that. But that's generally the way it goes. Wow, I can help you. You're gonna think, well, Paul can help me. I got people that'll call me up because it's not can you help me, but who do you know that can help me? So we become connectors for each other. Yeah, so there's that ego part you kind of have to set aside if that becomes a problem. But I have children for that. All right, I think I'm done, Laurie. Thank you.